It's now time to work with large amount of data. In Windows Form, there are several tools which we can use to display enough information, such as ListBox, ListView, Data Grid View, etc. In this chapter, we are going to learn ListBox control. ListBox control is easy to code, manage, and handle. And using a list box, you can simply display the information like a list. Each item on a list box displays on a single line. So one line for one component or one item, just like the combo box. You remember combo box, right? In addition, list box provides user selection. User can simply make a selection just by clicking in the list box. List box also have own methods and several properties which make things easier in the code. Let's now move on and learn the list box control. From the toolbox window, we need to find the list box, and here is our list box controls. Let's drag the list box and put it on the form. This is our list box control. So here we have our list box control, and using this control, we will create a name list application. User will simply provide a name, click on the add button, and the name will be added in the list box. But before that, we must update some properties of the list box, and the first property, as usual, is the name property. So let's name it like LBX represents the list box control and the functionality. This list box is for name list, so LBX name is a proper name. After the name property, there is another very important property which is called selection mode. In the list box, we have three selections mode: single select, multi-select, and no select. Multi-select simply means user has the opportunity to select multiple items. So we are not going to activate the multi-select. We will continue work with the single select. So selection mode with the value 1 is single select option. And now the items property. You remember the items property from the combo box. Items property is used to add items to the list, and this property is used in the code. You can add some item in advance directly from this property window. Otherwise, items are added using the code at the execution time or at the runtime. For example, in our application, we are going to read the item from the user. So we cannot use the items property here in the property window. So these were some important properties related to the list box. Let's now drag our text box control to read the name. This is our text box. User will provide a name in the text box, and we need a button control to add the name in the list. I'm going to update the properties. The name of the text box is TVX name, and the font, let's increase the size of the font from 9, which is the default font, to 12. And now adjust the buttons. Properties, BTM add name, and the text add name. And now double click on the button to create the event like this. As the button is clicked, we are gonna read the name from the text box like this. And right after that, we are gonna control the name variable. There should be a name inside. If string is null empty, is not null empty name, then we are good to go, and we can add the name to the list. To add the item to the list, we will first call our list. The list box name is listbox name, items properties, and add property. And to the add method. And to the add method, we will simply provide a name we want to add to the list. That's it. Every time we provide a name in the text box, click on the button, the name will be added to the list, and our list will continue to grow. So let's run the program and check the output of the development. So here is our application. Let's provide a name, Sala, add name. I will see the name in the list. This is the first item. You know, every item is placed on a single line. This is the first line or the first row. Let's add another name, Sarah. You see the second item or the second component on the second row. Let's provide another name, Peter, and you see that name is added. So now we know how to add items to the list. Use the items property with the add method. Let's move on. The next thing is the clear method. the list box has its own method to clear all the items or to clear itself. So let's have another button to clear all the items. Name the button, let's say BTN clear, and the text clear list. Now double click to create the event, and now simply call the method on the list box. That's it. Let's run the program and check the output. Insert a name, let's say Sala, click clear, and you can see the list is clear. Insert multiple components, click clear, and you can see the list is clear. And now we will talk about the selection. The most important feature of the list box is the selection. You can select any record and that selection can be read by the program. And once we have selection result in the program, we can perform different operations like update, delete, move, etc. How do we get the selected item from the list box is the next thing we are going to cover. The selection in the code becomes possible because of the index values. Exactly like an array, all the items in a list box are assigned an index value, and that index value goes from 0, exactly like an array. So this first row is at index 0, the second item or the second row is at index 1, index 3, and so on. And so every item in the list has a unique index, and then we have a property which is called selected index. And that property simply returns the value of the selected components index. So let's enhance the application and learn to get the selected value in the code. So let's have a button on the form. And that button is called show selection. Put it here. Change the name. BTN show selection and the text. And we need a label control to show the selection. And now simply double click on the button to create the event. Whenever the button is clicked, we will get the index value of the selected item using the selected index property. You can see I'm simply calling the selected index property on the list box. If any component is selected in the list box, I will simply get its index value whenever the button is clicked. If the user do not select any component, then the result of the selected index property is -1. So -1 is a special value, and that simply means user does not select any component. So whenever we try to read the selection in the code, we will always check for the -1. If the index value is not equals -1, that means user has made a selection. And in that case, we are good to use this index value. So let's publish the index value on the form. We reserve a label control. I think we forgot to change the name. This is our label control. The name is LBL1. You can change its name. LBL show selection. And now LBL show selection of text, and here we say items index is index. So let's run the program and check the output. Now insert some data on the name, let's say Sala and Sarah, and the third one is Peter. Now select the Sala, the output should be 0. Sala is at index 0. Show selection, as you can see, items index is 0. Select Sarah, 1, and feature. That's great, right? We are able to read the user selection in the code. Another important property is called selected items. Using selected items, we can read the whole items in the program, like Sala, Sarah, and Peter. Let's learn the use of the selected items property. So whenever the index value is not -1, we can also read the selected items or the item's name. Now we are going to extend our output like this, and we would say selected items name, and now I will call the selected items property, and don't forget to call the toString method on it. The item is returned as an object of list type, and that's why we need to type converted. Now you will see both the index value and the name of the selected items. Let's run the program and check the output. Insert a name, another name, make a selection, click on the button, and you will see item index is 0 and the selected item is Sala. Now select the second one, index is 1 and the selected item is Cheetah. That's great, right? Now we know how to process user selection in the program. The list box also has a very interesting event which is called selected index change. Using that event on the list box, you can simply show the selection real time on the form. Right now, when we make a selection, we click on the button to display the current selection. But if you have event on the list box, you can display the selection as user update it or change it. So let's see how do we code the event. Select the list box, go inside the event window, and here we have the event selected index change, which is also the default event. That simply means if I double click on the list, program will automatically generate selected index change event. And we can simply copy and paste the code we wrote in the previous section or in the click section. So whenever the selection is changed on the list box, this event will raise and the output is generated. So let's run the program and check the output. Add some name, Sala, Sarah, Peter, and Donald. Now select Sala and you see the response direct, right? Select Sarah, you see the response, right? We don't actually need to click on the button in order to display the result. So that was a selected index change event, useful event. You can use it in your application. Now the last option you need to learn is the delete option in order to create fully functional application. So let's learn how do we delete a selected component from the list. Drag a delete button from the toolbox like this. Change the name. Let's call it btn delete and the text. Now double click on the button to generate the click event. In order to delete a single component from the list, we have remove at method. And this method requires only the index value of the selected component. The method belongs to the list box control, just like this clear method, right? Now, before we call this method on the list box, we will always make sure the user has made a selection. We will always make sure this index variable. Whenever the delete button is clicked, we will get the recent selection and save that selection in the index variable. And after that, we will validate the index variable that shouldn't be -1. When we come inside the if statement, that simply means index has another value other than the -1. Now we are good to call the remove at method, and to that method we can pass the index value. That's it. The delete operation is also clear. The selected component will be deleted from the list. So let's run the program and check the output. Now insert some name. So our name list contains 4 names. Let's select feature and click delete. Now you can see the feature is gone. Select Salar, delete. Now without any selection, if I try to delete, nothing will happen because we have control on the index variable. Select Johan, delete, and select Sarah, delete. Now our list is, or our list box is totally empty. So my friends, that was the list box control. We learned to add item to the list, get the item from the list, clear the list, and delete individual component. But we did not use any data source like array or list collection, etc. We simply took the name from the text box and inserted that name to the list box. That is not a real approach. In real application, the data provided by the user is saved somewhere, like in a database. You can use filing, or you can save your data in array or other generic collections. And then from the data source, we fetch the data and show on the form. So this is the real approach. So in this chapter, you only learn the control, ListBox, and its properties and methods. In the next chapter, we will continue with the ListBox, and you will learn to use the data source property. Using this data source property, we can simply bind a data source to the list box. Data source can be an array or any generic collection. We will use list collection. So don't forget to watch the next chapter in order to complete this topic and have fully understanding of the list box. We will develop further this application, but there will be a data source in our code.